Hey, Dental Nachos crew, this is Paul, Dr. Nacho with the JFO Just Find Out key resource and sponsor. And I have a question for you. Is money walking out of your door because of miscoding? Our key resource and sponsor, Theresa Sheppard of Theresa Sheppard Solutions, can help you and your team say, hey, money, come back inside the door. We need you here, especially during a pandemic, but also keep you safe and compliant from misbilling. Is writing off your aunt's balance going to get you fined or drop from the insurance? It could. I'm so excited to talk to Theresa. Theresa, welcome to Talking Nachos. Share with us what you do and how you help dentists.
Hey, good morning, Paul. Thanks for having me. Yes, my name is Theresa Sheppard Solutions. That is the name of my business. I've been in dentistry about 40 years, actually. My age is hanging out. Started out as a...
I'm 42, so it makes me feel good when you say that. So thanks.
Oh, my
you made
goodness.
my day, Theresa.
So I started out, I chair-sided for about 10 years, and then I went into administration, managed a dental practice for 22 years, and then went on to manage other practices. I'm the perpetual student and the perpetual but why girl. So I'm never really, I'm always looking for education and what the next step is. I developed some curriculum and started a dental assisting school. I'm a California radiation safety course provider and a California CE provider, and I founded a teledentistry company last year. So I'm busy and always interested in new things. So particularly when it comes to Theresa Sheppard Solutions, what my primary goal is to protect the clinical and financial integrity of the practice. I give doctors the tools that they need to mitigate their risk and increase their legitimate reimbursement.
Which is important because you do the work, you want to get paid for it. And what I want to share in growing Dental Nachos from 1 to now 26,000 people, maybe you're watching this one day and there's 100,000 people. One of the most common shout outs we get is, what is the code for this Pontic? How do you code a Maryland Bridge? So this is something they don't teach you in dental school. They should. I'm not joking. Codes are part of your life. Your lifeblood, how you make money, how you help patients, how you don't drive yourself nacho nuts. A little more important than memorizing the Krebs cycle for the 15th time. But now we're out here in the real world, and I have 2 practices, and codes have always been confusing. I'm really into implants. So when someone hires you to come in, take a look at what they're doing with coding. What are some things you uncover? What nachos do you turn over and say, hey guys, you're missing out on this opportunity? Then share with us also where they're also putting themselves in harm's way with risk.
Yes, so coding is extremely important. And the reason for that is not only for payment, because coding doesn't matter the payment source, whether it's a cash patient or you're billing insurance or Medicaid or whatever the case may be. It's a metric of what you do. It's an accurate way to represent the services that you provided for that patient that day. Whether there's a charge out or not, sometimes you've got a code for dispensing product or oral irrigation. Some people charge for that, some people don't. But it's a metric, so it's really important to do that. So when I go and I do snapshots prevent mugshots analysis, what I find most often is evaluation coding is seriously miscoded. So let's say a patient is on the schedule for a hygiene visit and they've got 4 bite wings, exam, prophy scheduled. During the hygiene visit, the patient might be complaining about number 18, so the hygienist will take a PA, the doctor comes in, they talk about number 18. He doesn't review anything else, and it's filled out as a periodic exam, where that really technically is more falls in line with a limited exam, perhaps. Now, one thing too is I always ask, how many exam codes do we have? And the answer is 0, because really if you look at the language, they're evaluation codes. It's just that we are so ingrained with calling them exams, but technically they're considered evaluation codes. Another thing I see a lot of is patients that have emergencies. So patient will come in and maybe we need to do an open and med or put in a provisional restoration, and it's billed as a limited exam. 1 PA in a limited exam. Now that's an emergency palliative, or it could be a provisional crown. It could be, so there's a lot of lost revenue there.
What I want to jump in and say, Theresa, as a medium-age dentist, which I call MAD, practice owner, is this is a language unto itself. And just like people learn coding for websites, Italian to go on a vacation. You need to learn coding to literally survive and thrive. And also, I like to break it down to this. I have a very fancy graphic here. I call it the day sheet. So your day sheet has all these things. And in our office, it's required for us to initial before we leave because we check off. And here's what I've said before. Using your example, you go in, you take 4 bite wings, periodic oral exam, cleaning. That's set. But then you take this PA of number 18, $25, for example. Mm-hmm. One thing that can happen is you do it all and don't put it on your day sheet, and now you've lost the $25. However, we all have these patients too, who thought they were going to get 4 bite wings, but they have an argument which they win with the hygienist that today they're not getting x-rays because their sister's friend's brother told them there's too much radiation, even though they do all this. And you say, you know what, today you're going to win. Then you put the 4 bite wings out, and now you've committed accidental fraud. So I just want to share, this is a world I live in, and it's so important to get this styled in correctly. So you help offices, Theresa, but you were sharing with me, when you go into an office and do your Theresa training, how much underbilling do you usually uncover? How much opportunity do you usually uncover for an office to capture?
Well, that's the most thing I cover. When I talk about insurance fraud and miscoding, that really is more of a minimal part of it. There's a lot of accidental codes or things that get left off. So I typically always find somewhere between $2,000 and $10,000 a month consistently.
That's great.
That just is kind of, I don't know where that went, or I didn't know it was there. One of the biggest problems that I find, talking back about, refusing x-rays perhaps, is perio. Perio and oral cancer screenings are really the 2 hugest problems that I see in a general practice. So patients don't want and don't understand many times what the level of perio disease that they have and how it's contributing to other things in the body. We're not really teaching them oral systemic link. I really want dentists to understand that they are oral physicians.
Right. They're for us to embrace this part of it.
You have to embrace that.
Go ahead and share with us. So your program will help dentists in a multifaceted way. I know my dentist people, Theresa. You worked in the industry. I don't know how to describe this, but I know what they're frugal people. They're worried about wasting money, concerned things are a scam, grandmother in basement, worried. So I like to bring everything to light and be transparent. So I call it an investment or a cost. So people invest how much in your training when they hire you?
Well, we start with my Snapshots Prevent Mugshots program, and that's a virtual assessment. Yeah, and I can do that virtually, and I prefer to do that virtually. So that's basically, it takes 20 hours. So the doctor's essentially just purchasing 20 hours of my time to go in and do an assessment on their practice. I look at a lot of different things. I start with, I just kind of pick a random day on the schedule, and I'll just start with the 8 o'clock patient and open that chart up and see what I see. Many, many times, like I said, we are prophying our perio patients because our perio patients are refusing root planings because they get free cleaning. So why should they do the deep cleaning? There's no such thing as a deep cleaning. There's perio treatments. Can drive
you nuts. So the prophy to perio maintenance battle there. But what I would like to bring to light to our audience, Theresa, is people invest $2,500 in your training, and not only may you uncover $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 of opportunities for them to get money paying for your services, you also train them to now move forward and do things properly. I said in my opening, share with me, you write off your aunt's prophy, you write off this, you write it off, you think it's fine. What's the risk that you train offices that they can't just do that because they open themselves up to a fine being dropped by the insurance? And in some cases, we both know Dr. Roy Sheppard, an amazing person, actually going to jail over misbilling. Yeah. So share, because JBR, just be real, share with how those write-offs could lead to some burnt nachos in your practice.
Right. So on our insurance claim form, it's the doctor signing saying that these are the services that were accurately performed and accurately billed for. So let's just say, for example, you have a $100 service and the patient's going to owe 20%. So you're trying to collect $20 from the patient, but they're your Aunt Sally, so you're not going to charge Aunt Sally. And there's no problem with not charging Aunt Sally, but you have to disclose that
Right.
you're going to be waiving that 20% copay to the insurance company. And so really what you're losing is not 20%, you're losing 40% because the insurance now is going to make that adjustment. Oh, this is not your full fee then. And
Right.
so $80 is your full fee, and I'm going to pay 80% of $80.
And they will let you then not still charge Aunt Sally. They're just going to pay less.
They're going to pay less, right? And so if you're disclosing that, then that's not as much of a problem as just consistently writing it off,
right,
and not disclosing that, because then it does become, you kind of cross that line into fraud because you're not representing yourself accurately.
And this is why I just like to reiterate and appreciate you being a key resource and sponsor. No one has threatened to fine me or drop me from insurance or send me to jail because I couldn't make a bite rim. But it's really important for this part, because this risk exposure is something that should be in dental school, and people should be really, frankly, worried, concerned, and scared about it in a responsible way, the way you're worried and concerned and scared about wearing a seatbelt or having your children look before crossing a street, because this is what prepares offices. And as you go in, I'm sure, you're going to hear offices say, no one's ever told us this, right? They could be in dentistry for 37 years and they'll say that. Am I accurate with assuming that?
That's absolutely correct. And, I didn't know. And the reason that they didn't know in many cases is because they were taught by the person that did the job before them. Right, and that person didn't know. When I see doctors getting into legal trouble, it's not because they're malicious or doing anything intently. It's a cliche, but you don't know what you don't know. And several years ago, I wrote an article that says experience is not expertise. And I have a CE course around that. And that's just it. You can be doing something for so long and not realize that, there's maybe a different way or a better way to do it now.
And what you're saying is one of the things, if people want to lean forward, and we're going to wrap up, I would lean forward this. Nothing's better than keeping yourself safe and out of risk. But my dentist people, imagine making more money for the same amount of work. Imagine getting more money each day without doing any more effort. And this can come with adding the right implant codes in, figuring out. So Theresa, I'm so glad you're part of this. I know you have a great Nacho offer for our group. And how can people reach out to you if they say, hey, I want to find out more about what you do, Theresa, and take advantage of the Nacho offers? Tell us about that.
Yes, so we start with the triage, which is the Snapshots Prevent Mugshots program. So again, that's $2,500. And I'm offering our Nacho listeners 10% off of that if they schedule by the end of August. That doesn't mean that the program has to be completed by the end of August. We just have that deadline of being scheduled by the end of August.
I think that's awesome, because here's what I encourage you to do, Dental Nachos: awareness, attention, just find out, momentum. All of us are having reduced team members, people not coming back, new people. Yeah. Now's an opportunity to reset, recenter. You're going to learn something yourself and get someone like Theresa in your office. Everything that matters needs a system, and everything matters. There's truly nothing more important. We have OSHA, keeping yourself safe. We have HIPAA, privacy, and coding and billing goes right along with that. So I appreciate Theresa.
Absolutely.
Thanks for being an awesome key resource and sponsor. Any parting words for the Nachoverse before we jump off?
Nope, just thank you for having me, and I want everybody to be as profitable and safe as possible, and I'm looking forward to helping out your team.
Awesome, Theresa. I really appreciate. Protect yourself, stay profitable, especially during a pandemic. Another 3P. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.